A stolen plane, breathtaking aerial stunts, and a final heartbreaking transmission. This is the unbelievable true story of Richard Russell, the man who took to the skies for one last flight. On August 10th, 2018, the world watched in shock as a 29-year-old ground service agent named Richard Russell pulled off one of the most unusual and tragic aviation incidents in history. What started as an ordinary day at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport turned into a surreal, high-stakes drama in the skies. This is the full story of the man who stole a commercial aircraft, his motives, his final moments, and the lasting impact of his actions. Richard Beebo Russell was a seemingly ordinary man. He worked as a Horizon Air ground service agent, responsible for baggage handling and aircraft towing. Friends and family described him as friendly, funny, and kind-hearted, with dreams of traveling and exploring the world. However, beneath his light-hearted demeanor, Richard struggled with internal battles that would soon culminate in a shocking event. His co-workers never suspected what was about to happen. Though some later recalled that he occasionally spoke about feeling stuck in life, there were no overt warning signs, no final notes, just an ordinary man on an ordinary shift, about to do something extraordinary. Security cameras captured a lone figure walking across the tarmac. No alarms, no questions. Moments later, the impossible happened. A commercial aircraft lifted off into the night, without clearance, without a pilot in the cockpit. At approximately 7:32 p.m., Russell entered a secure area of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and boarded an unoccupied Horizon Air Bombardier Q400. Using his knowledge of aircraft operations, he powered up the plane, taxied to the runway, and took off, an action that should have been impossible without clearance. Air traffic controllers, stunned by the unauthorized departure, scrambled to respond. As Russell flew erratically over Puget Sound, he engaged in a candid, at times even humorous conversation with air traffic control. "I got a lot of people that care about me. It's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this." Despite attempts to convince him to land safely, Russell seemed resigned to his fate. Fighter jets were scrambled, but he made it clear he had no intention of harming anyone. He performed daring aerial stunts, barrel rolls, and loops, defying the capabilities of the aircraft he had never officially trained to fly. Throughout the flight, social media exploded with speculation. News outlets picked up the unfolding event, with millions watching the live flight tracking. Was it a hijacking, a terror attack, or something no one had ever seen before? After nearly an hour in the sky, Russell's final moments came as he crashed the plane into a wooded island in Puget Sound. The impact was fatal, and authorities quickly confirmed that he had been the only person aboard. No one on the ground was injured. In the aftermath, investigators searched for answers. How did an untrained worker manage to steal and fly a commercial aircraft? Russell had no formal flight training, yet his maneuvers suggested he had learned from simulators or personal research. Psychologists examined his final radio transmissions, which hinted at depression and a sense of hopelessness. Though he never explicitly stated his motives, his words suggested that this was an elaborate, tragic suicide rather than an act of terror. His final words: "I wouldn't know how to land it. I wasn't really planning on landing it." Some experts speculated that Russell had been struggling in silence for years, and this act, though reckless, was his way of reclaiming control, if only for an hour. The incident sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, raising concerns about airport security protocols. If a ground crew worker could steal a plane and take off unnoticed, what did this mean for future safety? Airlines reviewed their internal security policies, and airports across the country tightened access controls. The military's response also came under scrutiny. Should they have acted sooner? Did protocols need to change for rogue aircraft? The debate continued long after the crash. In the media, Russell was portrayed in a mix of ways. Some saw him as a tragic figure, others as a security threat. However, in certain online circles, he became known as the Sky King, a name that reflected both admiration for his flying skills and the tragic nature of his final moments. His story sparked discussions on mental health, airport security, and the pressures faced by aviation workers. Richard Russell's skyjacking was an event unlike any other, part tragedy, part mystery, part cautionary tale. His final flight left behind more questions than answers and forced an industry to reevaluate its vulnerabilities. If you were in the control tower that night, how would you have handled this situation? Let me know in the comments. And if you love deep dive true crime and aviation mysteries, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next story. What case should we cover next? Drop your suggestions below.
Taxiways.
Roger.
Horizon 2239, runway 16 strike, clear to land.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. Just, you know.
Squawk 4671.
If you go too much further in that direction, I won't be able to hear you anymore.
Alright, hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think? I'm going to land it, in a safe kind of manner. I think I'm going to try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, then I'll just go nose down and call it a night.